Welcome back to Geek's Bathhouse. As you can see, I am kind of in the middle of a soap here. This is our lembas bread soap. If you haven't seen that video, I will put a link and you can check it out. I had some leftover soap after I made that one, so I added some blue to it, and we are going to pour off some TARDISes really quickly for a Doctor Who soap. And I just thought, hey, since I'm going to be pouring these off and doing the Doctor Who video soon, maybe I can just quickly turn on the camera and record making these embeds for that soap. So here we go. So the color that's in here actually was an in the pot swirl of the lembas bread soaps. If you've watched that video, you saw all those colors. And the remainder of the soap in the bottom of the bowl was mostly the pine mica from Be Scented. It's a green, this one here, but it has a bluish hue to it. So I thought that I could probably add some mica to it and get my TARDIS blue. And so I added a good chunk of this Twilight Mica from Mad Oils, which I believe they're now called Mad Micas, and got a pretty awesome TARDIS blue. And for the lembas bread soap, I added glitter to all of the colors of soap, so our TARDISes will also be kind of sparkly, which I think is definitely appropriate. And it looks like we have just enough for 6 TARDIS soaps. How about that? That would not have worked out that well if I had planned it. Look at that, guys. This middle one can use just a touch more. I can scrape it out of the bowl here. And there we go. TARDIS embeds poured and ready for our Doctor Who project. Alright, so you guys have just seen the sort of mad scramble that it was last week when I last minute decided to make these TARDIS embeds while I was making the lembas bread soap. I am now adding my lye solution to my hard oils. I will show you guys how those embeds came out in just a minute. If you follow my Instagram, Geek's Bathhouse, you've already seen them because I posted a picture of one of them earlier today. They came out super cute. Unfortunately for this project, we actually kind of have to destroy them because the TARDIS soaps are going to be embedded in the middle of a loaf, and the mold is not flat, it is in the shape of a TARDIS, so we had to cut it off. I'll show you guys what I'm talking about in just a minute here. Getting all my hard oils melted together. This is the front of one of those TARDIS soaps. You can see how pretty the mold is and how detailed. And this is what I had to do to them. Cut the fronts off, and you'll see why. That is basically so that when we line them up in our loaf, they will go flat against each other, so we won't have any like weird gaps in there, because we're really looking just for the outline of the TARDIS to be in the middle of the loaf. That's the idea anyway. We'll see how it comes out. The embeds I made last week, as you saw, when I did the lembas bread soap, and that recipe is high in olive oil, which is a softer oil that takes longer to set up, and I forgot to add my sodium lactate, which is a salt derivative that helps harden your soaps and get them out of the mold easier. So those little TARDIS soaps really did not want to come out of the mold. I left them in the mold for an entire week and then ended up putting them in the freezer to get them hard enough to come out. I'll show you the two that I totally mangled, and this is why you make extra. You can see how totally mangled that is from me pressing on the mold, trying to push the soap up out of the mold and just completely mangling the TARDIS because I was impatient and they were not ready. So the other ones came out well. Though luckily I only messed up 2 and I only needed 4. So came out all right in the end. So for this soap, my idea is that we will have black in the loaf, we'll put some on the bottom, then we'll put all the little TARDISes in at an angle, and then we'll pour the rest in, and so when we cut the loaf, hopefully it'll look like the TARDIS sailing through outer space. That's my plan. I have some activated charcoal as well as some black pearl mica that I'll probably use in combination to get the black, and then a couple of different colors to do some galaxy kind of swirls. I have Peacock from Mad Oils. Hopefully that's focusing. I know last week you couldn't see it. I was holding them up and you couldn't see what they said. Then I also have Grape Knee High from Mad Oils. Sorry, I keep calling it Mad Oils. It's Mad Micas now, but they were Mad Oils. I also have okay, it's totally rubbed off. That's one thing I don't like about Bramble Berry's labels. It rubs off really easily, but I'm pretty sure this is called Merlot Sparkle Mica. It's kind of a pinky red. And then of course the black pearl from Nurture and some activated charcoal. And this is a tiny recipe because the TARDIS embeds are actually going to take up quite a bit of the space in the recipe, in the loaf I guess I should say, so I don't need a whole lot. I also have this, what is it called? I don't remember. It's a Shimmer Mica from Nurture. Oh, it's sitting on the table over there, so I don't have it with me, but this is like a white shimmer. I'm probably going to do like a mica drizzle of that on the top of the soap, and I might do some of that in the soap as well because it's really pretty, but I don't want to get overzealous with too many colors because this is a very small amount of soap here. So I'm just going to give this a quick little buzz and we'll get separating into our colors. Alright, I don't want to mix too much because we've got a lot of colors to stir in, and again I don't have them pre-mixed, so we'll be doing some more stick blending to stick blend all those different colors in. I was thinking about doing an in the pot swirl for this, but in the pot swirls tend to be like kind of a more, they're almost more swirly, like it's a more delicate swirl. The colors aren't really separate in the swirl, if that makes sense. And I would like for the colors to be a little more separate in this batch. But if I try to do like a drop swirl, I'm afraid that's not really going to work around my embeds. So we may be stuck with doing it in the pot. Let's see. I'll just set that over there. I'm running low on containers here. Let's see. Alright. I need mostly black and then a little bit for each of my colors that are going to swirl in. So that ought to work. Oh, and my fragrance, I forgot to mention, we are using a fragrance. So the embeds themselves came from the Lembas bread soap, so they are oatmeal milk and honey from Be Scented. But I didn't want to make another whole oatmeal milk and honey soap, so I chose something that I think will complement the oatmeal milk and honey, and that is this Egyptian Amber from Candle Science. I can't tell if that's focusing. I really hope it is. I'm sorry if it's not. It's really annoying when it's blurry. But this is called Egyptian Amber. It's a strong-ish scent, so I'm not using a whole lot of it. and I have no idea how it performs in cold process, so hopefully it's not going to totally accelerate everything on us. Let's move these and do our black first. I don't know if the black pearl mica on its own will get us black enough, which is why I have the activated charcoal. I think I used this for the BB-8 and Poe Dameron soap, but that was melt and pour, so we shall see. I'm going to give it a little stir here. I'm afraid it's going to be gray unless I add a whole bunch of it. Yeah, see, that's gray. And if I add just a little bit of activated charcoal, it should go nice and black. Activated charcoal is good for your skin anyway, so it's always nice to have it in a soap. So we'll add, oh yeah, that's like black, which is nice. Add that in. I also have some glitter, my little puffer sprayer thingy to spray on top. Give it a little stellar kind of feel, galaxy feel. Alright, that black, oh yeah, we're real black now, that looks great. So then, let's see what we have here. We'll do this peacock mica next. This is a really pretty teal. I don't have a lot of soap here to work with, so I don't want to like add a ton of mica. This is tricky making soap in such a small batch size here. Oh, look how gorgeous that is. That is such a pretty color. Peacock mica from Mad Micas, not Mad Oils. Alright, I'll set that one to the side. Work on, let's do the purple next. Purple is my absolute favorite color, and this is a really pretty bright shade, purple. Let's see if we can just stir it in like this. Oh yeah, that is gorgeous. These are some really nice, bright galaxy colors. I didn't really have like a pink that I really wanted. I wanted like a bright pink, but I don't really have one. So we're going to go with Merlot, which is a reddish, shimmery color, which will still work, I think, for the overall idea. But it's going to be, yeah, see, it's a red. That's going to be awesome. I'm really excited about this. So this is really fluid still, which is very nice. Okay, I'm debating. I'm not sure how I want to do this. I want it to come out nice with the swirl. I'm afraid in the pot is just going to be too... I think that's what we're going to have to do though, guys, in order to really get this to work. Now we might have to let this, like, pour some in the bottom and let it sit a little bit, because these TARDISes are kind of heavy, and I'm afraid if I don't give the base time to set up a little bit in the bottom, they'll sink down in. Let me see. I guess I could hit all of these with a stick blender. That'll thicken them up a little bit, and then we'll do, I guess we will just do it in the pot. Sorry, I'm feeling very indecisive today. I'm not sure. Like, I have a plan, but I don't. You know what I mean? I know what I want. I'm not sure how we're going to get there. But at the end of the day, we will get there, one way or another. Alright, so let's give each of these a quick little buzz. Now, we are going to, in the pot swirl, I will try spraying it with a little bit of rubbing alcohol. Some say that that helps it set up a little bit. I don't know that I necessarily believe it, but I know it won't hurt, so we can try it. Alright, let's do red first. The nice thing about it being this fluid is it will swirl very nicely. As I explained in my last video, I'm not going to do all of it so that we can make sure we get a good swirl, hopefully all the way throughout. Although this is so little soap, it's kind of hard to reserve any. But we'll do our best. These colors are really pretty. I really wish I had had a pink though. That red is just not quite what I had in mind. It'll work though. It'll work. Alright, so I'm going to give this one quick little spin with sound effects because that helps. And we'll pour a base layer Alright. Oh, it's so pretty. Alright, let me get my rubbing alcohol and I'll spritz this and we'll give this a little bit of time to set up and then we will be back to add our embeds. Alright, so I'm back. So what I did was I sprayed it with a little bit of my 91% rubbing alcohol and then I actually stuck it in the freezer for just like a minute or two, not very long, but just long enough to try to get it to kind of set up a little bit so that our embeds, because I don't want to set the embeds in straight. I think it'll be cooler if they sit in kind of at an angle. So I want that base to hold them up. So here are my little TARDISes that I cut the faces off of, as I showed you earlier, because the faces have that indent so then they wouldn't line up. And since the detail of the mold actually doesn't really matter. Alright. Oh, I may need to try to prop this up with something. I don't know. I want them at an angle. They're not going to want to stay that way, I don't think. They're going to want to fall over. So we may have to set them up right. Darn. Yep, they're gonna fall over at an angle. So we're gonna have to go upright. Maybe once they're all in there, we can kind of turn them, because they actually... Oh, maybe, yeah, I think because they're so wide that they do hit both sides of the mold, now that they're all in there kind of leaning up against each other, they're holding each other up at an angle. So let me just try to get this soap down in there quickly so that it'll hold them up. Stay up, little TARDISes. Alright, scrape the rest of this out. For the rest of our in the pot swirl. Hope we have enough soap. Hope I calculated right. Scrapey, scrapey, every last drop. Because we're going to be cutting it close, it looks like. Alright, there's red. We'll go for blue. I didn't want to leave it sitting for too long because I knew that these portions of the soap would be setting up as well. And though I want the bottom thick, I do want to be able to blend my colors and get them poured in there. It's always a balancing act. not least, because purple's the best color, our purple. I really like this shade of purple. The purple and the blue are both really nice. Mad Micas, you guys. Check them out. They have some great colors. I think they sell fragrance oils and stuff too. I've only ever tried their Micas, but alright, give this a little spin. Scrape down the sides, get the black back in there. And now pour this first down the other side. And then back. And then we'll bury our little TARDISes inside. Oh, it looks like I calculated pretty well, hopefully. Might be a little bit on the shallow side. The mold, I know usually I can do like 15 to 16 ounce recipe in this mold. So what I did was I weighed my TARDISes to see how heavy they were. Now granted, they were made a week ago, so they've already had some evaporation going on, so they're a little bit lighter because the water is already evaporating, but that at least gave me kind of a rough estimate of how much to subtract from my 15 ounce recipe. So that's how I went about that. And so I ended up making 10 ounces, and it looks like that was very close, but it was enough. I'm going to try to scrape out every last drop here that I can. Because those TARDISes are covered, but just barely. I am really excited about this soap. I hope you guys are too. Hope you guys are Doctor Who fans. Doctor Who is an excellent show. I love it. I love British TV in general, but I'm definitely a Whovian. I'm not totally caught up on the newer seasons with Peter Capaldi as the Doctor. Only kind of just started watching him as the Doctor, and I know he's already done, so I am behind. I tend to be sort of a Netflix and Hulu watcher more so than a live TV watcher, so I'm not always up to date, but that's okay. Get last little bits of this red out. Every time I look at this color, I'm regretting that it's not like a bright pink, because I think that would have been so much better, but it is what it is. Maybe this will inspire one of you out there to do a Galaxy Doctor Who soap, and you'll have a pink. Alright, I think we are getting down to the wire with our scraping here. Worked out pretty well though. That'll give us a nice little swirl on top. And then I can do my little mica drizzle. Alright. Try to tap out all those air bubbles. Let me see. I guess I'll just use. See, the TARDISes are not completely covered everywhere, and I want them to be. So I'm just gonna give a little swirl here back and forth. Hopefully that'll. Yeah, that got them all covered pretty well. Now, for our little drizzle. I should have grabbed the container for this so you guys could see what it is. Let's do, I've actually never done a mica drizzle before, so this will be a fun experiment. I decided not to use this as one of the colors in the soap just because it's such a small amount of soap. I would have had to divide off into so many small portions that I just didn't think that that would work out really well. Okay, that's gonna be too big. Let me grab a paintbrush. I'll be right back. Okay, grabbed a paintbrush for a swirling tool and grabbed that sparkle mica so I could show it to you. Snowflake Sparkle Mica Powder from Nurture is what I'm using here for this. And we'll just give it a little swirl on top. Oh, that's so pretty. There we go. Alright guys, let me just move everything out of the way. And there we have it, our Doctor Who TARDIS loaf. I'll get that all cleaned up and bring you guys back hopefully tomorrow to cut it. It may not be tomorrow because, like I said, this recipe is high in olive oil and it does not have sodium lactate in it. So high olive oil soaps tend to be on the softer side when they're first made, and then they turn into nice really hard bars after the cure time, but it takes them a little bit longer. So it may actually be a couple of days before I can safely get this baby out and cut it. So we'll see you guys then. Hi guys, I'm back to cut our TARDIS soap. It actually took a week for this baby to come out of the mold, and I'll show you it's still stuck in there pretty good. Note to self, don't forget the sodium lactate and try a recipe with harder oils next time. So as you can see on the bottom there, it kind of got a little smushy, but I tried to be very patient and wait and not ruin it. I'm gonna attempt to cut it at this angle so that you guys can see, but it is a little awkward for me right here. I'm gonna try to cut off just a sliver. There we go. And the moment of truth. Look at that. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. That is awesome, you guys. Yay. Okay. So, let's see. I'm not doing this scientifically. I'm using the knuckle width is about an inch method here. You guys know by now I kind of roll by the wing it method. There we go. Da 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 da. Ah, how cool is that? So awesome. That is what I had envisioned. I cannot wait to get you guys in for a good close-up on these swirls. It came out really good. It's a little bit dark, honestly, but that's okay. If I had had the bright pink, I think that would have really brightened it up. But look at that. That is so cool, you guys. I am thrilled. It's always awesome when you have like a picture in your head, like a vision of what you want to do, and you don't know for sure if it's gonna work, but you try. And in this case, it came out. I am so excited. There we go. Last one. And then, let me see, I'll just set this one over here. And then this piece is kind of on the thin side because I cut that end piece off, but I wanted to have I wanted to be able to see the TARDIS on both sides of all of the full bars of soap. So this one will just be like sample size. See if I can cut this once more. There we go. Perfect. Look how cool that is. I'm gonna get you guys in for some close-up shots because I'm not sure if you can see from where you are that this TARDIS from the Olympus bread recipe actually does have glittery sparkles in it, which is super cool. And then of course the top came out really nice and just swirly. I am so excited about this soap, guys. All right, thank you so much for joining me, and especially if you hung out through the whole video because I know it was really long. Again, if you enjoy the content, please hit the like button, subscribe, tell your friends, share the geeky soapy love, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.